Mr. Toastmaster, ladies and gentlemen, fellow members and most welcome guests, is there one single day that defined your entire life? Can you remember it? Can you pinpoint it? In my case, I can. September 13th, 2005, the day I left home, destination, Britain, via Liège, Belgium. The eve of the big day. Everything was almost ready to go. 2 massive bags in the living room, a huge one full of clothes, toiletries, and even a first aid kit. Was my mum's idea. And a smaller one full of course files, paper, books of all kinds. The plan was in 2 weeks' time, me and my dad would drive together down to Bath. But I had another idea. See, I wanted a clean break with my family, to make them think about the last few years, about the wasted opportunities, sadness and despair of my teenage years, struck between the anvil of missed opportunity and the hammer that was my very stern dad. So I needed a clean break, and I was a plan. That day, I would be leaving home, Britain via Liège, Belgium, after my best friend. Me and my best friend were chatting on MSN Messenger. I remember him asking me one thing. How does it feel, Florian? How does it feel what? How does it feel to spend your last night in your own bed at home? I feel nothing. I told him. And he told me, this is very good, because deep down inside you, it means that you're extremely sure of yourself and of your decision. After all, I knew no one in Britain. I had never lived abroad, and no one else had lived abroad in my family. Uncharted territory, a gamble, I would dare say, in any respect. Before I went home, one important step needed to be done. Switching off my mum's alarm clock. So I sneakily went into her bedroom and switched it off. When she would wake up at 10 or so, I would be well away on my way. 8 o'clock, big day. A few things left to do. Some final bits of packing. My computer to completely wipe out and format. And 2 letters to print. Dear Dad, this is why I'm leaving. But I love you. Dear Mum, this is why I'm leaving. You're partly responsible, but I love you anyway. Bit of breakfast. Shoes on, coat on, and the 2 massive bags remind me I was ready to go. And my mum, blurry-eyed, woke up. Florian, where are you going? Maman, I'm going. Mais non! You're going in 2 weeks. Mum, I am going. There are 2 letters in the living room. Goodbye. Went downstairs and stumbled upon the upstairs neighbour, Mr. Valentin. Oh, is it today that you're leaving, Florian? Yes, I am. A minute and a half later, he came to help me with a piece of cream. What it went in my mind was, just go away, please. Let me board my taxi. And off I went on my taxi. I still remember the journey, chiseled in my mind like a carved stone. Very nice driver. The traffic wasn't so nice. But we had a nice conversation, and he agreed with me, in spite of being a taxi driver, on a very important thing. That the Paris underground did indeed need to stretch its tendril deep into the suburbs where I am, only zone 3 or 4, it would be equivalent to London. Needless to say that the €5 banknote tip was very well deserved. Gare du Nord, 1 hour to go before the train departs. Free, but a bit panicked. They must have known at all. Will my dad arrive at any minute and snatch me away and say, Florian, ça suffit! What are you doing? Are you going home? Didn't happen. I was lucky. I was traveling first class because it was cheaper than second class on this journey. So I got someone to help me with my luggage, and the guy was saying, bloody hell, what the hell are you carrying? Horseshoes, books. I must have been quite a sight. Trolleying 2 massive wheelie bags, a backpack, a briefcase, and I think 1 or 2 plastic bags as well on the top. As if I was moving home. Or maybe like one of these gypsy people that just trundle their things around. Soon I was in my seat. Window on one side, the air on the other. A few minutes afterwards, the train was trundling at 300 kilometers an hour through the French countryside. Its endless wheat field, crystal blue sky. I had free at last. I had made it. I was on my way to fulfill my dream. The 2 weeks in Belgium with my friend Xavier were lovely and blissful. Got acquainted to Paquette for the first, but not the last time, as some people here know. We went to the little crystal factory together. We even went down a coal mine, 400 meters underground. Soon, 2 weeks afterward, the second leg of the journey awaited. 4:21 in the morning, Liège-Guillemins station, about to board my first train of the journey to Brussels Midi. 7 o'clock, boarding the Eurostar. I can still picture the scene to this day. These two businessmen. One of them was blonde, a bit like David, and young. And I said, that guy looks English. I'm in the right place. And another one that looked kind of Celtic, 40, middle age, with a grey coat. I knew I was on my way. Soon the Channel was crossed, then London. Got a taxi from what was then Waterloo to Paddington. And I felt like a VIP. We drove past Big Ben, past Trafalgar Square, down the Mall towards Buckingham Palace, on my way to Paddington Station. It was amazing. Last train, down to Bath. And sure enough, by the afternoon, after a broken suitcase with so many bills to carry, I could unlock the door of my new home. SC 6.3. A tiny one-bedroom ensuite student room in the Salisbury Court accommodation that will be my home for the next 8 months. I had made it! I had fulfilled, I had realized my British dream, and no one, anyone that stood in my way, had been brushed aside. Now if someone ever asked me, Florian, would you do this again? Would you leave home with 2 letters in your wake explaining your decision, not giving a phone number, an address or an email? My answer to them is, yes, I would do it again. Because fulfilling this British dream, decided to become the master of my own destiny, is the best decision I made in my entire life. As the poem says, we are the master of all fate and the captains of all souls. And for me, the war cry was, destination, Britain. Toastmasters. All right,